Can't hear you, Namir. I can see you talking.
Sorry, apologies. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. I think we've got, we just waited a couple of minutes just to get more people joining us. But I think we've got a good number of people joining us, so it's great to see many of you here today. So I'm Namir. I'm one of the training program directors for the school. But today I'll just be handing over to my colleague Joe, who will go through the program with you. And then we'll hand over to the university, who is the University of Westminster. We're really glad to have them on board to work with them together on this new partnership. And then we'll have a question and answer session at the end. Can I pass over to you, Joe? Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just putting on slideshow. Can you see my slides? Because
yes, I can. Thank you.
I can't see.
Yep.
Yeah, they're showing differently on my screen. Great, lovely. So, hi everyone. I can see some familiar faces on the call, which is really lovely. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I'm Joe. I'm Namir's colleague and one of the STP training program directors. And I'm just going to give a really short kind of introduction summary to the programs, to where we are and the history to how we've got here, and then I'm going to hand over to our colleagues at Westminster to give you more information about the programs. Okay, so that's me. Has my slide moved, Namir? Thank you. So as an overview, these two programs are both 12-month academic level 7 programs, and they're going to be delivered by the University of Westminster. These programs have been commissioned by NHS England. With the current commission, we have 55 places available during the yearly commissioning cycle, and each of these will be supported by a £10,000 training grant. The split of those, because 55 is not an even number, but we have 25 places in Haematology Genomics and 30 places in Histopathology Genomics. These programs were developed originally by the school, with Namir and myself leading on this. Namir's specialty is haematology and genomics, and mine is histopathology. And we didn't do it on our own. We absolutely relied on our fantastic colleagues around the country who supported us in the working groups as we identified the need for these programs and what we wanted them to kind of broadly look like. And to do that, actually, we use the existing STP modules, which are really helpful because they have some really useful content in. And I've just put those in boxes at the bottom so you can see the ones we've drawn from. But equally, these didn't cover everything we needed. So we also suggested some new content, both to meet the current requirements, but actually we're not just looking at today, we're looking at the future requirements for the workforce and our services as well. Okay. Just for a little bit of context, this is an adapted version of the Modernising Scientific Careers career framework for healthcare science, and you can see I've very happily added in this into the level 7 box, and it will sit alongside other programs developed by the school, such as the Postgraduate Certificate in Sleep Medicine at that level, but also the Graduate Diploma at level 6 that we also have. So it's a nice additional option to our suite, and you can see where it fits in terms of career development and academic level. The aims of it were to develop knowledge and skills in genomics and haematology and histopathology, which is a massively and constantly changing field. And equally important was to do this by supporting development and upskilling of the existing workforce within these areas of pathology. And the reason why we do any of this is to improve service delivery for our patients. We wanted to be really inclusive as well, so that it's not just being offered to a small group. So we had inclusion for lots of our groups of staff. So we've aimed them both biomedical scientists, genetic technologists, and our clinical scientist workforce. As we know, we have a multi-professional workforce in these areas. And what we want to do is increase, but also retain that knowledge, that skill set, that expertise within the genomics workforce by providing our colleagues with this professional development and educational opportunity. And like all of the things we do, this is aligned with our national strategy. So we've aligned this with the 10-year health plan for England, which talks a lot about genomics. It talks a lot about workforce development and upskilling, retaining our current workforce. So it's aligned with that as well. You can see on the bottom of all these slides, there's a link to the school website, which has additional information on, and that's a clickable link. So I find it quite hard to write this table actually, but who is it for? So if you're sitting there thinking, is this for me? Could this be for me? Well, this is just some of the groups of people that it could be for, but also some of the places in which you might work. And it's been designed so it's broad and not just for people working with one job title in one area. The entry criteria is really similar to if you were applying to the STP, so it's level 7 learning. So we're looking for either a first or a 2-1 undergraduate honours degree or an integrated master's degree, and that would be in a pure or applied relevant science subject. This list is not exhaustive, but it's just some of the sort of the main kind of subjects that would be relevant. So you may be aware there's quite a short turnaround time for expressions of interest for the first cohort. The portal is currently open and you can apply through regional commissioning teams. The portal has been extended by a few days and it will now close at 23:59 p.m. on Sunday the 16th of November. So that's this Sunday night. You should apply through genomic laboratory hubs or your regional pathology networks via the portal link. And really importantly, if you're a person who's interested in doing it yourself, your application can't come from you. It needs to come through your employer. And that's to ensure that you have the support in place to do it. It's looking quite popular. We've had a lot of inquiries, and if we receive more applications than the 55 places we have available for this cohort, we will use a prioritisation system because we want it to be inclusive. We want there to be fair access across all of our regions. And it's worth noting that the training grant that comes with this can be used flexibly, whether it be around salary or clinical educational supervision or laboratory infrastructure. That is, we've tried to not make that too specific. What we need is for the workplace to offer experiential learning opportunities in order to fulfil the needs of the curriculum and the programme. The trainee would need to have an appropriately experienced and qualified supervisor for the whole of the training period. They would need to develop and work towards aligned with a training plan. Both employer and trainee need to participate in surveys, evaluation exercises, so we know that the programme is doing what we want it to do, and we welcome feedback so we can improve that with our friends at Westminster. Trainees obviously need to be able to meet the entry requirements for the programme, and we would recommend a day a week study time, and this isn't a day when you go to university. This is in addition to the time you would attend university. So before putting in expressions of interest, employers need to identify the candidate through discussion, but also agree with the head of service and also with finance business partner. And this is my final slide. So just a reminder, applications for this first cohort will close on Sunday, 16th of November. So this Sunday night, just before midnight. This first cohort's teaching at Westminster will begin in the week starting 19th of January. So just over about 8-9 weeks, okay? And then the second cohort, so the next year, will start, it won't wait another year, it will start in September 2026, and applications for that will have a bit of a longer lead-in time, so around summer when you're applying for your other programmes as well. And then future cohorts, we plan to start them each September. Link to the portals has been provided in emails to you, but it's also here, included here. obviously Westminster are about to give you lots more information, but you can also get in touch with Namir or myself, and our emails are there if you have any specific questions, and if we can't answer them, we can ask our colleagues and hopefully be able to help you. So with that, I am going to stop sharing and hand over to colleagues at Westminster. I'm not entirely sure which one, so thank you.
Thanks, Joe. That's great. Thank you. So we sort of we see this as very much a Q&A from your perspective. So if there's anything you like, we do have some slides we can put up, which is the slide pack that will be circulating. I'm happy to pop those up and take a quick stroll through those if you like. One thing I will say though, I don't know, Joe, Namir, we don't, no one from Westminster seem to have presenter rights, so we will need a little bit of mastery behind the scenes if you want us to present anything. If not, we'll just freeform and talk about it.
Okay, I'll work on that. Just give me a second.
Okay. So while we're sorting out the joys of Teams, are there any specific questions that anyone would like to ask? I can see hands up. I think the first one that I can see is Sylvia, but please forgive me if that's not the right order.
Hi, hello. Yes, my name is Sylvia. I work in histology, molecular histology. So we prepare our samples to send it to the GLH, and we run in-house some of the testing. I would like to know for this program if we need to have a facility to do the molecular testing. Is it necessary?
So in terms of are you talking about in terms of the workplace?
Yes.
Activities.
Yes.
Namir, maybe you're best placed to answer that side of things.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So did you say you're histopathology? Just to
Yes,
confirm.
I'm a biomedical scientist and I work in histopathology, yes. And we prepare samples to send it to GLH, and we run some in-house as well. But we lack of expertise in terms of interpreting the results. This is one of the areas that we have realized that we are not so good. So I would like to know if we have, within this program, our workplace has to provide a lab for us to do the testing, or I don't know.
You basically in any program, when you send trainees, you need to meet. So when you have trainees, you need to make sure you can meet the curriculum contents. So in terms of work-based assessment and things like this. So because trainees need to provide some evidence from the workplace. So if this is not possible, then you might need to have some arrangement with a different laboratory. You know, whether you have a kind of a sister laboratory or a trust that you can work with to meet some of these areas.
Okay.
I don't know, Joe, if you want to chip in at any point, please do.
Yeah, no, I would have said exactly the same as you, Namir.
Would it be possible to know in terms of the program for histopathology, what is going to be covered on this program in the universities as well?
Sure. So we have a slide deck that will be available, and if we can sort out a presentation rights, we'll talk you through it from there.
Ian, could you send it to me and I'll share it, and then we can get around it, and you can just say next. That might be the easiest solution.
Okay, give me 5 secs, and I will do that.
So while we're waiting for that, so Nicholas, you've got your hand up. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Namir, and hi, Ian. I've got a couple of questions. My first one is if there's any more information about the workplace experiential learning opportunity expectation from the university side, and because we know what that entails when it comes to, for example, the STP training, and how we've got one file software to be able to, upload evidence. Is that the kind of expectation for the PG cert?
Shall I start, or so a colleague from university would like to?
I can try and answer the question if you'd like.
I do.
But,
Yeah.
so at least in the first instance, we would use a similar mechanism with one file with our first cohort, and the evidences and narrative elements would be collected through that.
And is it specific sort of training activities that you will be requiring evidence towards?
We're still in the process of agreeing the content of the one file, but it would be aligned to the competencies that are required within the course. So, for instance, within the genomics element, if being able to evidence some activity in that area that is sort of aligning with competencies, or I think one of the key problems is that everybody's working in a slightly different workplace. So there may have to be some elements of almost bespoke alignment that we go through with the learners to try and figure out how they can sort of undertake the activities and then evidence them properly.
Okay, thank you. And it was mentioned that the 5th of December is the higher education institution deadline, which is very soon. It's only about 3 weeks left. Is that sort of the final deadline, or is it's not necessarily going to move? Or
shall I jump in here, team? Hi, Louisa. I'm the senior.
We've lost you, Lou. You've gone mute.
Sorry, I think I clicked mute by accident. Sorry. Hi, Nick. Just to say, yes, that is the hard deadline, I'm afraid. That is our admissions deadline. So once we get the expressions of interest, we will be in touch, and it's a link that we'll send across, and hopefully it's not too onerous, and it won't take too long. But that is definitely that's the absolute final date that we can accept applications.
And do you also, so the people that have put the expression of interest forward, will they also have received confirmation of the funds that come with the posts from NHS England, I guess?
So once we approve it, you will get, yes. Just wondered, Michelle, I think you're on here. If you want to jump in.
I mean, just to clarify, it's because we might not, if the funding is not provided, then it might not be possible to send some of the staff onto the course. So that's why.
Understand. I just wondered if Michelle is on the call.
Yep.
Michelle, just wondered if you can answer the question about the funding.
Hi there. Yes, absolutely. So we will confirm to you the EOIs we're putting forward to the University of Westminster the week commencing the 24th of December, and during that week you'll need to start the recruitment process with the university. So once they've confirmed you're fully accepted onto the course, we can then liaise with our regional leads to get those confirmation letters out to you to confirm the funding. We'll work as quickly as we can because we appreciate it's a very tight timeline.
So did you say 24th of December or November?
Sorry, 24th of November, yes.
Right. Okay, so 24th of November is when we should be finding out about the funding, so that then we can ask people to apply.
That's
to the
correct,
higher education
it's the same week the University of Westminster's portal opens for their internal recruitment.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that everything, Nick, from your side?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Next is Rosalind.
Hello, I'm Ros.
Hello.
I'm one of the training
Ros.
leads for the genomics laboratory in Southampton. I'm just wanting to make an inquiry about the scale of the amount of work that's going to have to be supported by genomics labs for example, our sister histopathology laboratories in terms of the workplace training. It sort of feels a little bit from the parts of your expression of interest that actually it's going to be a very close liaison with the workplace, and it sounds actually quite similar to STPs, and just actually would like to have an estimate of actually the scale of input that's going to be required from the labs and the workplace? Because for someone like us as a genomics laboratory, we could potentially be supporting training both our own hospital, but other parts of our area as well. And I think, to be honest, it's a bit of a concern about how much work might be involved for the workplace training teams, and if you were able to give a bit of a scale of that amount of work.
Sorry. So in terms of, I mean, basically, if you're going to send a trainee, if a department is willing to send a trainee to do the course, they need to kind of make sure that they meet the curriculum. And if they can't, they're going to speak to genomic hubs or sister department. And I assume by submitting someone forward, then this is all done. Like what we do with the STP. You know, you can't have an STP unless you can meet the curriculum content. And if you can't, then you need to have some kind of arrangement before you put a trainee onto the STP. So it's a similar arrangement.
But that's quite a lot of work, isn't it? Frankly, we're quite concerned about potentially the scale of work that's going to be required to be supported in the workplace, and to deliver it quickly. It just feels like potentially there could be a lot of work for us to do in the workplace, that it's a very short timeline, and to make that evaluation of whether we can manage it.
Okay, I would then recommend that you study that well, and maybe not put trainees at this cohort, but starting in September, where you studied the kind of requirement and look at it in details. Any of my colleagues want to add anything? Please do. Okay, sorry, Ros, does that help you?
Yeah, it does, but I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation, isn't it? I think we do need guidance from you as to what elements of your training are going to require equivalent workplace support, because as we know, sorry to say it again, but the STP, they're very, very closely aligned, and if it's on a scale of the amount of work that we have to do the STPs, this is a considerable commitment, especially if you're a single genomics lab in quite a large area, and potentially you could be supporting haematology applicants and histopathology applicants as well. So I think it does need to be clarified as to what the scale of that work is, so that we can be honest with our sort of sister laboratories in the hospital and else wider than the hospital, to make sure that we can support them appropriately in that way.
Sure. It's definitely something we will discuss further, and probably we'll learn from the first cohort. Absolutely. It's definitely for the haematology, it's only open for people within the genomic hubs and not outside the genomic hubs, just to clarify that. The histopathology is different because it's aimed for people in both sites. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of reassurance from a haematology point of view. Thank you, Rose. Anjali?
Hi, yeah, mine's coming, I think, from a very similar place. So I appreciate, I don't know, just the whole thing has felt like quite a surprise to me. It's come about really quick, and the deadlines are really quick. And I haven't been able, I'm training lead for our genetics labs in Oxford. And I haven't been able to get that much information as to what is actually required by us as a work-based kind of trainers, in terms of what we'll need to have in place to be able to assist people. So we kind of can't get a feel for how many we might want to even put through, because I'm not really clear on how much we'll need to have in terms of training manuals, how much of the curriculum we can cover, etc., given the really short timeline. So yeah, I do appreciate we'd probably be looking at September rather than this first cohort. But it just feels like a bit of a shame. And I do know from the STP side of things as to absolutely how much is involved. So we wouldn't take it lightly in any way.
So I understand where you come from, Anjali. This program, we started these two courses a while back, and obviously there were challenges in the way. But the opportunity is for us to kind of move forward quickly, and that's why we took it. And I didn't want to delay it further in case something will stop the program. I don't want to stop the program, so just jumping on the opportunity that we can start these 2 programs now. I do understand the challenge that you stated, but together we will work on it. You will get the information that you need. We kind of only we only have kind of finalized the program even, I would say, 2 weeks ago. We're talking to Westminster and so on. So more information will come your way in terms of what you need to do at work. But basically, in any commission program, we expect a training plan. We expect that you can meet the contents. And I guess what I'm hearing is you don't know the contents in details.
Namir,
sorry.
is it worth?
Is that Joe? Sorry.
Yeah. Is it just worth just pausing and Westminster going through the slide pack, because that might help, because it has got more information in.
That's a good point.
Is it being shared at the moment?
Yeah,
it is. Yes,
shared.
it is.
I can see it.
Okay. So just shout at me and I'll move the slides on.
Okay, so I'll talk you through this, which is very much the kind of the academic side of the program. Obviously, we have 2 distinct programs: the genomics in haematology and genomics in histopathology, but there is a significant overlap between the 2. Specifically, 2/3 of the modules are the same for the 2 programs. So I will. Joe's put up the haematology one, but we can walk through both as we go through. So Joe, if you could move on. There we go. Right, could you roll it on one then, Michelle, please? Okay, so both the 2 courses are PG Cert level, and a PG Cert level course is 60 credits at level 7. So it's not a full MSc, it's not a full STP type program. It is a 60 credits module, 60 credit course. Depending on the variant, either the haematology or the histopathology, there are 2 common modules to both pathways. One is called molecular science and diagnostics. The other is precision medicine. And the subject specific, if you like, the discipline specific area comes with a cellular haematology and advances in cellular pathology, depending on the pathway in which the individuals will be enrolled. Next slide, please. There's a significant overlap between our slide deck and the ones that Namir and Joe shared earlier. So we will if I move over some things, it is because we've already covered it. But this is the program for the haematology side of the haematology variant. So as you can see, the cellular haematology module in this case, and the equivalent advances in cell path, the other, is very much the haematology input to the program. Given that we are expecting people from quite a varied background, from those coming from the haematology side into the genomic side, and those going from genomics into sort of the haematology side, and as well as those that have a significant experience in both. And as you saw from the entry requirements on the previous slide deck, the entry background, if you like, is quite broad for these individuals. So we're catering to a wide audience here, as it were. So in terms of the modules that we learn, that we run specifically as part of the course, the cellular haematology covers the basis of hematopoiesis, so lymphocyte, leukocyte function, anemias, malignancies, and so on. Moving into both a basic science perspective, but also a diagnostic perspective as well. So that includes the diagnostic criteria, laboratory approaches to diagnosis, and so on. The more genomic side of things, if you like, are the 2 modules, molecular science and diagnostics and precision medicine. The MSD module, you'll see there, we cover a number of key, it's a very technique-based module, MSD. So we talk about the techniques and their applications in disease diagnosis, so including things like qPCR, sequencing, various bioinformatics pipelines. And we also place emphasis on, and I forget, sorry, who it was mentioned this, but we put in the questions earlier, but this is where we also place the emphasis on the interpretation of the data and the design of workflows, and in a case-by-case sort of base application. Also, obviously, of supreme importance as well, we consider the ethical and practical issues involved in the processes and in the implementation of molecular diagnostics. In the precision medicine, this is where we move towards the more personalized side of medicine, as opposed to the technique side, which is what is covered in MSD. And here we will look into things like tumor profiling, pharmacogenetics, biomarker-led diagnostics, all areas that have this very personalized medicine individual aspect sort of driver. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in terms of what we will be covering here, we've mentioned already the workplace side of things, but also the academic side of things. So the majority of the clinical competencies will be delivered and assessed in the workplace. And the university's role in that, if you like, is to provide a standard means to record that and to assess that the evidence supplied meets the competencies within the program. This is about developing specifically the skills and the practical side of the individuals signed up for the course. We also, of course, have, as well as these key sort of subject specific skills, we also have what we refer to as general transferable skills, which will enhance both the individuals' performance in their current role, but also perhaps their possibilities for career progression and divergence into different areas that they may wish to move on to. Next slide, please. Thank you. So why join us? Well, we are probably one of the most accessible universities that you will find. We are literally in the heart of London. For those of you that know the area reasonably well, we are just off of Tottenham Court Road. We are close to all the main railway stations coming into London, for those of you that are coming slightly further afield, and we've got a good selection of tube links around us. So we're very easy to get to, and as we'll talk about later, a significant portion of this involves on-site.
Centimeters.
I'm sorry. We have a large proportion of the program is delivered on site, and the facilities that we have in order to do that are a suite of recently refurbished labs. Our most recent rebuild was an 84-seater lab that was put together last summer and is in use for this year for the first time from running from there. And our campus offers a variety of sort of student social space and study space, including a library on site. Unlike some universities, we don't have a central library. We have a library on our campus that deals with the subjects on that campus. So basically for the Cavendish campus, which is where we are, 115 New Cavendish Street, the library contains only material for life sciences and for computer science, which is the other main area which we share our campus with. Next slide, please. Or I should say, while we're talking about the campus, there is actually a campus open evening next Wednesday. If anybody would like to come along, this Wednesday, if anybody would like to come along and visit the campus in person, you will be very welcome. And members of this course team, the PG Cert course teams, will be there as well if you have any further questions or anything you'd like to ask face to face. So in terms of the academic team, you're supported by expert academics from Westminster School of Life Sciences. That includes individuals from both the genomic side of things and individuals with their background in either haematology or histopathology as appropriate to the program. We have a course leader who looks after this. The course leader is Dr. Nicholas Badu. He's unable to be with us today, unfortunately, because it's also our graduation ceremony, and he is at the graduation ceremony today. But in terms of Nick's background, Nick is an HCPC registered biomedical scientist who joined us 3 years ago now, I think. As part of their own, Nick's background is histopathology, but he will be leading both pathways along with our haematology colleagues, contributing the specialist knowledge in that way. Each module leader, of course, is a specialist in their subject area. Many of the people that will be teaching on the subjects have professional experience within the diagnostic and pathology services, and you'll also have academic tutors who have experience of a wide range of student support and areas that we will run with through there. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in terms of the support, it's, as we've said, this is much of this actually is repeat from the previous, but the course is delivered with the oversight from NHS England and the National School of Healthcare Sciences, and we have compiled our course with regard to the tender that required. So you can be assured that we are meeting the requirements throughout from NHS England and the School of Healthcare Science from there. In terms of and Namir has already mentioned this to some extent, each individual will have a workplace supervisor. Very frequently, that is the training officer who will support the individuals while they are in the workplace. They will help you both in terms of your learning in practice, but also reviewing the progress and signing off some of those workplace training activities that they have completed. And then the university tutors will look at the evidence presented and assess that against the criteria required. We have a long history of working with labs, both from undergraduate level, even from foundation degree level, all the way up through undergraduate level. Some of you, I noticed some familiar names in the attendee list. Some of you will know us from our applied biomedical science program, which we run as well, both an apprenticeship and a non-apprenticeship route actually, but the majority these days are apprentices. So we've been running these programs for over 30 years now, so there's a lot of background and experience, and many of our colleagues within the School of Life Sciences have come from a pathology background, so we get the unique demands, shall we say, on your time and processes, and we will work with you as part of that. And Louisa and her short course unit have a lot of experience in delivering CPD activities for the profession. So we'll be, we have a good background in place here to pull this together. Could we have the next slide, please? Thank you. So these this slide really is about the additional support, the pastoral support, I suppose, that we offer from our students. Whilst you are on what is notionally a short course, you are still a full student of the university, and you will have dedicated support from a course tutor and also an individual that is able to work as a kind of a personal tutor and can provide academic and or pastoral guidance as part of the process. And Namir mentioned that we're running this first tranche out of sync, as it were. So normally the academic year would run from about the third week in September through to the end of May, and that is how the program will run from September 26. But for the January 26 input, we will be effectively running the program back to front. So the two semester ones will run alongside each other in September 26. And either way, whichever group you join, there will be a full induction and orientation process when the individuals arrive at the university. There is also a lot of material available online. We use a VLE, a virtual learning environment called Blackboard, which contains all the course documentation and all the module documentation. It is the route through which any assessments are submitted. It is the route through which any learning resources for the module will be made available to the students on the course. So alongside the process, there's a regular check-ins with both your academic tutor and the workplace supervisor. We're very conscious of the demands on individuals' time in this sort of delivery, so we maintain a close relationship with both the student and the training officer in order to actually keep track that individuals are on track and aren't struggling, and if there's anything that can be offered to assist on those lines. I mentioned the library already and the digital learning services, but also the university has a student wellbeing team in which are all based, or the initial contact is based within Cavendish campus. In the library, there's an area called the Student Centre, which is where individuals can seek whatever assistance they may need from there. And as the personal tutors, we have access to a progress dashboard, which indicates how individuals have been, their pattern of attending, whether they've been engaging with the online material and so on. So we have the opportunity to keep tabs, if you like, and make sure that everyone is staying on track and make an early intervention if someone appears to be struggling. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the workplace support and monitoring. This is, as David, I think Giuliano mentioned earlier, we're looking at a digital pad-based system. We are currently working with our apprenticeship team. Louisa, you had some updates on this. Do you want to cut in now and mention those?
Yeah, I can do. Thanks, Ian. So as David said, I think one file, which I think someone else mentioned, that's what we're going to be using for this academic year. So going forward, as David mentioned, we're also looking to procure another system for some of our other programs. We may transition onto that, but for the first cohort, it will be one file throughout the duration of the course. Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa. Okay. So yes, so this is part of our joint undertaking, if you like, between us and the workplace and the students studying on the program. We see it very much as a three-way interaction and an area in which we will build together. Competency evidence will be verified by both the university academics and, of course, your workplace training officer or whoever has been assigned to you or to the students will help in terms of getting them to collate their data, produce the suitable evidence forward to test against the competencies, but that will actually be verified at the university. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the course timetable, as we said, we're running a little bit back to front, as it were, this first cohort, but teaching will commence on the 19th of January. We are aware that there are tight deadlines here in terms of both the turnaround for applications, the processes at the university end once those applications have been made. But we at the university, and as soon as we have the student applications, and I think it's important to point out here that it is the application from the student to the university, which is our formal point, if you like. There are obviously the deadlines within the system is the expression of interest by the 24th. Once that is then coordinated via the School of Healthcare Science, we will then get the list of training officers involved who have been approved, and then Lou or someone from her team will contact to get the actual names of the individuals that are applying. Once those individuals are in, we'll get them registered up on the system. They will get university IDs, so they will have access to the library, the email accounts and the IT accounts and so on. And then our teaching will begin on the week commencing the 19th of January. There will be an induction session around that time to help individuals orient themselves with the university and the university processes, meet the course team, and you will also find that for these programs, some of those modules will have individuals that are studying on our MSc program, MSc Biomedical Science program. So you'll get to meet as well some of your other cohort members during that early week. We have an Easter break, 13th to the 24th of April, and then we move into the final sort of assessment period around the basically after the Easter holidays. The second semester for this group, but of course that would normally be the first semester, would normally commence the 21st of September in 2026 anyway. We have the winter break over the 14th of December to the 1st of January, and then the final assessment period after that. So for the first cohort, they will complete in January 27. The second and subsequent cohorts will complete in June of the year. Next slide, please. Thanks. So we'll run the deadlines through again. I've mentioned most of them, but the key one there really is the 5th of December. That unfortunately is an absolute hard deadline from the university's processes, largely due to legal requirements in terms of registering students and so on. So the deadline will be the 5th. The enrollment week will be the week commencing the 12th, and then the first week of teaching, as we said, is the 19th. Namir, did you want to add anything about the application process here from your perspective?
Maybe Michelle could
Or
just
Michelle?
say this.
Yep.
Michelle, just maybe the kind of the deadline, the new deadline, which is, I think, as Joe said, the end of the week.
Hi,
Sorry,
thank
Michelle.
you. Yes,
Yeah,
so I've
sorry,
popped the
thank
two
you.
links in the chat for the two EOI portals, and the deadline is this Sunday at 23:59. The following week, we will review all the EOIs, and as we spoke about earlier, we'll need to shortlist them in case we are oversubscribed for our 55 places. And then your information will go to colleagues at the University of Westminster for them to start their recruitment process. We will liaise with your regional leads to get confirmation out to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. And thank you very much, Ian, for the presentation. I know a couple of colleagues have been waiting very patiently because they put their hands up before the slides. So I'll go to the first colleague, Rohini.
Yes, thank you, and hello everybody.
Hi.
Is it possible to have a copy of the curriculum details that you've just presented, please? Because that will help us determine our ability to support the work-based components, please. At least I can get the experts to look over it properly. And my second question, do we know what the contact time is at Westminster? Because we're based in Birmingham, and we'll need to determine our ability to release staffs, because it's likely they'll need overnight stays as well.
I can give you provisional, shall we say. We are still waiting on a final timetabling for semester 2, but if I can't share actually, so I can't put it up for you. But what I can do is I can talk you through it. Give me 2 seconds on this. So, in terms of the initial semester 2 offering, so this would be the January start. We are aiming for a Tuesday attendance. We are awaiting, as I say, we are awaiting final timetabling confirmation on this, but we are aiming for a 10 o'clock start in the morning on the Tuesday, and there will be the molecular science and diagnostics in the morning, and advances in cellular pathology will run in the afternoon for the genomics and histopathology variant. The precision medicine runs semester 1, so they would then take that in the September 27. For the haematology variant, it's the other way round in that there are 2 modules in semester 1. So for the haematology variant, it would be Tuesday mornings 10 till 1 for the second semester. The first semester for both programs is a blend of online activities and on-site activities. The online sessions would happen on a Monday morning, and then the on-site sessions are on a Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, no, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Is that everything from you, Rohini?
Yeah, that concludes my questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much. The next on my list is Saru. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it right.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Well, my main question is the scientist that we wanted to put forward for this is actually on holiday during that exam period. Is there any flexibility at all with those dates, or are we going to have to wait for the next year?
I guess that's a university question, sorry.
Sorry, did you hear me?
Sorry, no, could you repeat? You broke up a little there.
Oh, sorry. The biomedical scientist that we were planning to put forward is actually on holiday. Has got a holiday booked during that exam period. So I was just wondering if there is any flexibility.
So the exam period is set within the university's calendar, and essentially no, there is no flexibility on that. However, the assessments within the modules, there's a variety of assessments within the modules. So I mean, I think I think probably the easiest way forward for this is an individual conversation, if you like, about the individual in question. Which pathway were you considering?
Histopathology.
Histopathology. Okay, I think probably the easiest is if you either drop me or your individual you're planning on sending, drop me an email. So my email address, I will put my email address in the chat. Do I have access to the chat? Yes, I do. So my email address is there we go. So if you would like to drop me an email, we can have a chat about exactly what the individual needs from that point and when they would be away, etc.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ian. Next on my list, Charlotte. Charlotte.
Hello. Hi. I'm just wanting to clarify, you said that it was just the genetic hubs, but I just wanted to check that it is also like specialist integrated hematological malignancy diagnostic services in so much that we have NIHODs, so we're not part of the genomic hub in that way, but it would still be open to them?
The hematology one or for the histopathology one, sorry?
Hematology.
So as long as you are working with a genomic hub that they can provide you with the contents, I assume you're associated to a genomic hub?
Well, our genomics is we're part of integrated laboratory medicine. It's just the way we're kind of set up. So we have a specific NIHOD section, which is, it would be our biomedical scientists probably who work majority of the time in immunology, but there's a lot of crossover.
So if there is a crossover and you can because of some of the contents you might need some genomic hub to support you.
Yes, so we would
if
just
you can find that, then you can, yes.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Next is Harriet. Hi, Harriet.
Hi, yes. So a couple of things for me as well. So what level of experience is needed for the workplace clinical leads or training officers in terms of supervision requirements?
Sure. So it's a common question we get even for the STPs. Someone who's competent, someone competent in that area where they can provide training to others. So competency is more important than anything. Obviously, they need to be a clinical scientist or a senior biomedical scientist that could provide that support, depending on the area, obviously.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Then the other thing I wanted to ask is, I believe there was a portal, an EOI portal back in July, August. So I submitted some EOIs through that. Are these binding, or are we able to change based on this?
So the old one were not an expression of interest as such. They were kind of what's the word? Kind of trying to see the expression of interest in terms of are you going to use them or not. But the new ones that just been put in the chat, I would use those two links.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks. I think that's everything
Harriet.
for me, but thank you.
No problem at all, Harriet. My next one on the list is I still have Charlotte. Sorry, no. Charlotte, did you answer your question? I still have Charlotte as the first one.
Yes, I can't get my hand down, sorry.
Okay, don't worry, no worries. Then I think it's Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Namir and everyone. So just trying to get my head around this, I'm from the GLH perspective.
Yep.
So we're, in terms of amount of training for the individual, we've got about 1 day a week across the terms, across roughly a year. So what proportion of the rest of that individual's time would they be expected to work towards this? Because obviously the people that are eligible for this are currently full-time contributing to service work. So what's the expectation there? And again, just to emphasize, we desperately need to see this curriculum because we just cannot comment really until we understand that, and we have no time. So is it a full-time? Is it full-time? What's the commitment?
Do you mean, so when you say full-time, do you mean So you will need to provide that training with 20% study time on top of their day they go to university if they need to. They might not need to go every week. So any commission program needs 20% study time required because funded, similar to the STPs.
Sorry, did you just say on top of? Did you just say on top of the time that they go? So 20% on top of the time they go to university.
Yes.
So someone currently working full time would be expected to have 1 day a week to go to
Westminster.
or virtually Westminster.
Yep.
Another day is that study time for Westminster content. That's sort of how it works for the STP. And then are the other 3 days workplace curriculum learning, or is that second, or is that do they have those to do?
The 20% should cover everything. Yeah, the workplace plus the academic content.
Okay, so for a full time, just thinking about the impact. So for a current full time member of staff, we have to release them 2 days per week for a year to complete all of this study.
Depends on the course. If maybe you're not attending every single week of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still have to give them the 20% study time.
So just to clarify, it will be running over 2 12-week semesters, the Westminster content. So you would have, for example, there would not be a requirement to come to university over the Christmas and Easter and summer vacation times.
So that study time is not the trainee goes and sits and works on stuff. That study time is the trainee gets training in the workplace to meet the workplace outcomes, and then the other 3 days they can keep doing the job that they are doing prior to signing up for this.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, sorry, that wasn't clear. So that's really helpful. Thank you.
Any other questions, Rebecca?
Almost too many, really, but that's it for now. Like it's
okay.
curriculum.
That's okay. You have my email. You can always email me if you have any further questions.
Yeah, it's just that curriculum is key. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Rohini, I still have your hand up, but I'm going to move to Nick. I still have your hand up. There's something going on with Teams today, so.
I think Marianne has a question.
Mariana probably is though. Yeah, okay. Hi, Mariana.
Hi, thanks. I think it's just been put in the chat as well. We applied for an expression of interest a good year ago or so now about this program, and we haven't actually heard anything about it since. We are a accredited training centre for STP and HSST, but we didn't hear anything about this meeting or that this has gone live. We've picked this up via someone through LinkedIn. So I was just wanting to know how this has been communicated to GLHs or centres, because we could have easily have missed. We've been waiting for this for quite some time. This could easily have been missed. So what are the lines of communication to services?
Yeah, so we use the genomic unit to disseminate information to all genomic hubs, and we also use the commissioning leads for each region. So the commission lead for London should have got that and should have disseminated it.
So it's gone to hubs rather than accredited STP and HSST training labs?
It's kind of the same, really. Most hubs are accredited, but we use the regional commission.
We're a local genomic laboratory hub and accredited training service, but I haven't heard about it, so I can go. That's fine. I can go back to.
I would just ask the other. It depends where you get your communication from. If it's directly from the regional lead, then I would get in touch with them. But the links are in the chat, so they will be aware of it anyway. In terms of histopathology, we use the pathology networks to get to everyone. Is that all your questions, Mariana?
Yeah, that's lovely. Thanks.
Thanks.
Rohini and Nick have their hands up. I don't know if they're legacies though.
Legacy hands.
No, mine's not a legacy hand. Apologies.
Okay.
I do have a further question. So I just need to confirm that our interest is outside of the genomics hubs, but we do host a molecular pathology diagnostic service.
Yep.
And I think we would be more than able to deliver once I have a look at the curriculum. And we also host SDP students from our genetic service. So
Sure.
I assume that our application would be considered.
For which one? Sorry,
For
which program?
histopathology.
It should be fine. Yeah.
It should be fine. Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Nick, is that definitely a legacy hand?
No, again,
No.
no. I've got another question. Just
Go ahead.
Just because what Rebecca was talking about earlier, I got a little bit confused. But so I understand that it's 20% study time, and the lectures are on top of that.
Yep.
So that's additional time that they require. But the 20% study time isn't like the SDP where they consider supernumerary, I presume, as in that 1 day a week could be work-based training that contributes towards their PG cert. As in they don't have to be working on preparing an assignment, for example, or submitting evidence to one file. Because it's closer to the apprenticeships style rather than the SDP style, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Does that help it if we say that? Obviously, we're still learning
it
how
helps
to
me,
kind of
yeah.
it helps you.
Me,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
It's because the SDP is just a much more clear sort of protected time. Yeah.
Thanks. Nick. Rebecca?
Someone in the chat's asked exactly the same question, which is when and exactly how is a syllabus going to be shared? Given that communication routes seem to be very specific, when can we expect them and via what route so that we can look out for them, especially if people are on leave this week? Please.
Okay. If we, from a school point of view, we'll put them on the website. We'll update the website pages for us. With that, I think that's what you mean in terms of content.
Yes. Do we have the links to those websites?
I think
I don't know where it is on the NHS
That's
website.
fine.
We've only got the links.
I put them on the chat, but they wouldn't have the kind of granular contents yet, but we will add that. Okay, Joe just put them in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Toby has his hand up, Namir.
Thank you. Hi, Toby.
Yeah, thanks. Just a quick one, and it's coming on from what a few people have said about the syllabus. Bearing in mind that we've got to apply by this Sunday, and none of us know what the syllabus actually is, so we don't know what we can and can't commit to as a group of people. When you say you're going to put that syllabus on the website, when are you going to put it on the website? Because it can't be Monday next week, because we've got to have the applications in by Sunday. So if you can sort of let us know, as in straight after this meeting, you're going to put it on the website so that we can actually have an understanding of what this is going to entail.
Yeah, I completely understand. I can't really say I'm going to put it after this meeting because it's an NHS England website, so I need to go through the appropriate channels, but probably tomorrow.
In which case, can you at least maybe email the people on this meeting and send it out to them? Because these are the people that obviously are asking the questions here and now and are interested, who have actually managed to hear about this. I think it's been touched upon already. We've not heard about this through the GLH, and it looks like there's other people from other GLHs here who haven't heard about it as well, or at least seem to have very little in the way of any information regarding this. So it'd be really useful if we could have that ASAP.
We'll do, but I mean, I can't comment on the communication within. So we know we get it to the hubs, but I don't know how does the information cascade within each hub. I can't really comment on that, but I know I made sure that all genomic hubs got the communication.
Yeah,
I did it 2 different ways personally.
Fantastic. But if it could be at least sent out here, that would be, so that we could all have it ASAP. Thank you.
We'll do. that would be on my action list. Thanks. Abigail?
Hi, yeah. I've got a very specific question. I was hoping it was going to be answered by the release of the syllabus, but you've just mentioned that that's not going to have granular detail.
No, I said
So
it will. So currently there are headers, but doesn't have the granular information currently on the website. So we'll add more information on the website to make it more granular.
okay, so just to let you know what I've been trying to find out, our laboratory is very specifically wanting to know about D-dish and whether that is going to be included in the histopathology syllabus. So will that level of detail be available from tomorrow when you get the syllabus up on the website?
Sorry, Joe, are you able to comment on that? Just it's not my area, so.
I think that's a question for the university who are delivering the curriculum. Ian, can you answer that?
We have we've designed the programs to meet the criteria within the syllabus. I can't remember exactly what was on the syllabus that from the NHSE. So
it definitely wasn't specifically on the syllabus from us when we came to you. So I can say that much.
Okay.
Andy? Wait, is that legacy handle? Yeah. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this one. I'm not sure if we'll be able to submit names by Sunday. It's quite quick sort of information, seeing as I only just found out about this morning. Will we get an opportunity to apply for places for the September cohort, or is that going to be advertised later in the year? You don't want the names for the September cohort this Sunday as well?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is just for the January start.
And so will that be a completely separate application? Because we put the expression of interest in August, and I think someone else said the same. We haven't heard anything since then. So will we be contacted?
Yeah, I believe that was a scoping exercise. Ben, this is different. This is so we have a university on board this whole series, so we just need to get so you get another expression of interest for the September start.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
there are a couple of queries in the chat about funding, Namir.
So I'm trying to find them. So the university, I think most of them been answered. In terms of university fees, they'd be separate to the grant and it will go to the university. You don't have to worry about it. Harriet, yeah. Hi, Harriet.
Hi, sorry, another question. It's also been asked in the chat but not answered yet. So will the credits from this PG cert contribute towards a master's qualification from either University of Westminster or elsewhere?
So I can answer that. So the PG Cert is a standalone qualification as it stands here. The individuals will graduate with a PG Cert in either genomics in histopathology or genomics in haematology, depending on their variant. The process of credit transfer between university courses is such that they can use this through the accreditation of prior learning or the recognition of prior learning, depending on the terminology used by the different universities. So they may well be able to feed this into a master's route if, for example, they were interested in carrying on with the MSc in biomedical science at Westminster. Two of these modules, the precision medicine and the either the specialist subject module from either way could be used to credit towards the Westminster Masters.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's really helpful.
Thanks, Harriet. Is there anyone that put a question that we didn't answer? Please, let's discuss it and answer it. Okay, I can't see any more hands up. I'm just going to apologize again for the technical issues. It's really out of our control. We did try to fix it. It wasn't possible. So apologies for that. Apologies to the university colleagues as well. That wasn't in the plan. But hopefully we managed through it. We will put this webinar on this cool website. And then we will provide, so I've got a couple of actions for me to complete as soon as I can. So kind of give more granular contents, more granularity for the contents to put it on the school website. And I'll share it with everyone joined this team. So this call. Hopefully I will have all the emails saved somewhere. If I don't, then I'm going to have an issue. But I'll check with my colleagues anyway. We should have a list of attendees, I think.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, perfect. So all I'm going to say, thank you everyone for joining us. We know the January start is it's a bit of a kind of a tight deadline, but I think it's really important to start this course because we've been working on it for a while. It's been going for almost, I'm going to say 3 years, or 2.5 years. But that's when we started, and then lots of organizational changes, but we wanted it to kick off. So, but thank you very much, everyone, for your time, and we'll get the information to you as soon as we can.
And Charlie has a hand up, Namir. I don't know if that's a new one.
Sorry, I was just going to say that we didn't have to register or anything for this. You literally went straight to the meeting invites. I'm not sure. Hence, I've just put my email in the chat.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I think Angela might have a really good point there because I've just had a look actually back, and the only people I can see are those of us from the university and the commissioning team.
Yeah, the thing that got circulated, I literally, when I got it on Thursday or Friday, I tried to click to register and it just came to join the meeting. So
could everybody, as you're doing, just quickly put your email in the chat? Much appreciated, and we'll capture it. I'll make sure that there's a prompt that goes out on, as well as on the school website, also on our socials, so LinkedIn and Twitter, X. I'll make sure there's a prompt there as well, but hopefully we can capture everyone by email.
Okay. Should I just give it more time for people to put their emails, email address in the chat? But in the meantime, I just want to thank colleagues from the university. Thank you very much. It's been really helpful. And thank you to colleagues in the school as well, and everyone who asked questions. And hopefully you will get all the information that you need as soon as possible.
Thank you.
I think that's everyone. No, I can't see anyone typing, but thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.